Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and it seems to be chess moves for me every day at the moment, which is, well, constantly a test on my memory. Let me just shift the camera there. So, yes, today's puzzle features arrow sudoku, and there's a king's move restriction. So if you want to try it, carry on, but I will explain the rules more fully in a moment. First, I do want to mention our Patreon. We've had so many people joining lately, so thrilled with how much content there is there, and there really is some good stuff. One of our correspondents was suggesting we should tempt you in by going back and filming videos of some of the old content, which the old Sudoku hunts, and there are some brilliant puzzles in those. Well, it's just constant, frankly. So do think about joining us on Patreon if you haven't already. And you still have a chance to enter the Jewels of Osiris, Demono's incredible adventure story and treasure hunt, which is running till the 20th. So check it out. There are some fabulous characters in the story. You'll know who I mean if you've read it. And it's great fun. So that's on Patreon. Tomorrow, no, sorry, that's today. Simon has done one of his crossword videos, so you can check that out. And within the week, we'll be putting up my crossword video on Patreon, the extremely hard puzzle that is not for the faint-hearted. Now, what else have we got going on? We've got all our apps, and of course we have not only a chess app, but also an arrow Sudoku app with 100 puzzles, many of them by some of the most brilliant constructors in the world, all of them somewhere between quite approachable or, well, some actually genuinely approachable, some quite approachable, and some a bit tougher. But 100 brilliant puzzles. Do check it out on the links to the apps under the video. You can also find links to Sven's Sudoku pad and our merchandise. Lots of people wearing our merchandise these days. I've yet to meet one in the wild, though, who I wasn't expecting. But it'll happen. And anyway, so what's going on? Just Curb has sent this in. I think we've done a puzzle by Just Curb before, but I could stand to be corrected on that. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So we'll be putting 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. That's what they mean. Digits on an arrow sum to the value in the attached circle. So those two add up to that one. We haven't mentioned that there could be repeat digits on an arrow. And I think in a couple of cases there must be in this puzzle, I would suggest, based on my knowledge of arrows from the past. Now, here is the kicker that I'm going to have to try and remember. Identical digits cannot be separated by a king's move in chess. So 2 digits touching each other diagonally cannot be the same. That's the effect of that rule. Now, I'm probably going to have to try harder than yesterday to remember the chess move rule today, because there's a lot of markings in the grid, whereas yesterday there were only 4 thermos, and they weren't very long at that. So the chess constraint had to be uppermost in my mind. Now, it's a king's move constraint today. It seems every time I post a king's move puzzle, 3 or 4 of the comments say, I tried for a long time solving this puzzle, assuming it was a knight's move constraint. Don't make that mistake. It's a king's move constraint today. But do give the puzzle a try on the first link under the video. I am going to restart my clock so I know how long it takes me. And let's see what Just Curb has in store for us with Royal Self-Defense. Let's get cracking. So, oh gosh, we've got an arrow here. The minimum value for those 3 digits, which have to be different, is 1, 2, 3. That's 6. And another 1 there. So this is a 7, 8, or 9. But I think this arrow is even more revealing, actually. The minimum value on this arrow is a 1, 2, 3 in column 4 and a 1, 2 in column 5. That's not column 5, it's column 3. And those all add up to the maximum value we can put in a cell, which is 9. So that must be right. I don't know how they... Oh! King's move. Haven't forgotten it yet. 1 minute in. But look, there's a 1-2 pair there, and they both see that cell. So that must be a 3. That's quite neat. And then we've got this deadly pattern that will be resolved by lots of other things in the puzzle, no doubt. Now, what's going on down here? We've got, right, this one now can't be a 9. And it must therefore have a 1 on the arrow in one of those two positions. It is indeed 8, 7 or 6. It must be at least 6 because those are 3 different numbers. So are these. That is at least 6. Now, let's start thinking about the totals of... Okay, I'm going to start, and this might expand in a moment. I'm going to start with those 3 arrows. Now, I'm going to think laterally, like across the grid. I mean, I don't mean Edward de Bono style laterally, but 1, 2 and 3 there would be 6. 1, 2 and 3 there would take us up to 12. 1, 2, 3, 4 here gets us to 22 already, and that is the absolute minimum. And this cell takes us then to the total of these 3 digits. And because it has to be an actual number, we get up to at least 23. Now, the most those 3 can add up to is 24. So that is a 1 or a 2. There is only 1 degree of freedom. These must include an 8 and either a 7 or a 6 here. And we're pretty close to establishing a lot about this puzzle. Now, do we add in this? Maybe we do, because if we were using 1, 2, 3 here and 1, 2, 3 here, which isn't certain yet, but if we were, this would be a 4, 5 pair. It would have to be, because they can't be the same and they both have to be at least 4. And 4, 5 gives you the maximum number 9 here again. But no, I'm not going to yellow that arrow. I'm going to yellow this one actually. And now because this circle is in the same row, that's the point. Right. 1, 2, 3 there, 6. 1, 2, 3 there, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here now, which is 15. That takes us to 27. And 1 and 2 here takes us to 30 at a minimum for the yellow cells when you think about the rows. But that minimum 30 is also the maximum for these blue cells, which all have to be different in row 7. And they can only add up to 30 at a maximum. So that is the break into this puzzle. Very neat, Just Curb. So this is 6, 7 or 8. Right, these were a minimum 1, 2 pair on the bottom row. So that's a 1, 2 pair. Now these had to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 3, 4 and 5 to place. These were 1 and 2. This one is... Well, this was a 1, 2, 3 set. So that's a given 3 now. This can't be 3. We're up to a minimum of 8 here, are we? 3, 1, 4. That's also the maximum because 9 can't be in that cell. So that 1 sees this digit. We've unwound the 1, 2 pairs we started with. These can't have 4s. Ooh, this can't be a 3 now because we wouldn't get up to a total of 6. So that's a 5. This is 6 or 7. This is also 6 or 7 by elimination rather than by adding its arrow. But by even better elimination, this is a 3. Goes with a 1, 2 pair. We actually know the order. This is a 6. This is a 7, and that's a 2. And there, we've done all of those arrows and we made them work. And now this one's in business because it does see 2, 1, 3 in both of its rows. So that has to be a 4, 5 pair. We know the order because of this 4. Gives us a 9 there. Now we've got not a 9 here. Now, these are at least 1, 2, 3, making 6. This is now a 1 or a 2 to get us up to 7 or 8. But can these be 1, 2, 3, or can they be 1, 2, 4? They cannot be 1, 2, 4 because of the 4s that we've placed. We've only placed 2 4s in the grid, but they're really doing a number on these. These have to now be a 1, 2, 3 set. So that becomes a 2 because it sees 1 and 3. This is a 1, 3 pair, and that 2 sorts out 1 here. That fixes the 3, 1, and this total is 7. I love the way, I mean, it's not difficult so far, but this puzzle is really flowing nicely. Not letting me remember the king's move, which I haven't thought about in a long time, but it's suddenly popped into my head. Maybe the title Royal Self-Defense is helping. Anyway, this is an I-wing in this row. I know what the last digit has to be. Then we've got 3, 6 and 8 to place here. That one can't be a 3. In this box, there's a 7, 9 pair there. This is a 6, 8 pair. This one we must know is a 2. This is a naked pair, that rare beast, a 7, 9 pair. Oh, it's just easier to see it as a completion of the row, actually. This is a 4, 5 pair. King's move. 4 is looking at that cell. King's move, King's move, King's move isn't doing anything else down at the bottom. That's weird. Thought it would. These can't be 6 because of the King's move rule, so 6 is in one of these positions. Okay, these circles are from 5, 6, 7 or 8. No, the King's move is wonderful on this arrow. Let's just consider 5, 6, 7 and 8 and what they would put on the arrow. No, let's first of all consider 7 sitting there looking at both of those cells by the King's move. Excellent. Now let's consider 5 or indeed 6 in this circle. Because you can't put a 1 on this arrow. So if it was 5, well, you can still make it up with a 2, 3 pair. But look, this 2 sees both of those cells. One of them straight in the row, one of them by King's move. So now you can't put a 2 on this arrow. And therefore it can't be a 5 in the circle. Actually, it can't be a 6 either, because that would need a 2, 4 on the arrow once 1 has gone. So that's not a 6. This is an 8. That is definite, I think. It's a surprising conclusion. I'm a little bit suspicious of whether I've done the right logic. Now look, the other cells in this box are from 5, 6, 7, because we've placed all of the other ones. Let's just get rid of the colouring, actually. We don't need that anymore, do we? There we go. So this 5, 6, 7 triple is very interesting, because we can use the geometry of King's moves to notice that they all see this cell. Every one of those sees it. So that can't be 5, 6 or 7. In the column it can't be 2, 9 or 1. It is 3, 4 or 8. But it can't be 3 because 2 is sitting there. And therefore neither of these arrow cells can be a 2. And if this was 3, they'd have to be made up of 1, 2. If it was 4... well, in a traditional arrow puzzle, that could be 2, 2, but they would be touching. And anyway, we've proved that neither cell can be a 2. So that could be a 1, 3 pair, actually in either order. So 4 is still possible. May not be likely, but it's possible. I'm going to have to do something else next. That arrow has run out of data, I think. Yeah, it has. I was just considering if it's a 4, it could be 1, 3 either way round. If it's an 8, it can't be a 2, 6 pair. But there's one way round for it to be 7, 1 and one way round for it to be 5, 3. I'm not going to focus on that yet. But we've now looked at all the circles in the puzzle, actually. We've got this 8, and we can't have a 1 or a 2 on this arrow. It can't be 4, 4, so it must be 3, 5, and we know the order. Bingo. What is this telling us? 1. 1 in row 3 is in one of those two cells. Well, it's either here with a 4 or a 5, or it's here with a 3 or a 7. Not interesting. 3 is up there somewhere. 1, 3, 5. 2. 2 can't be there by King's move, so it's in one of those two cells. And then it must be here in column 7, which doesn't see that by King's move. How are we doing on 2s then? There's a 2 in one of those two cells. If that was a 2, that would be a 1. This would be 4 or 5. That's not really telling me anything yet. Pity. 1, 3, 2, 8, 5. This can't be a 6 or a 4. So that is part of a 7, 9 pair. These are a 4, 6 pair in the column. Feels like a discovery. Does nothing else. 7 can't be in those cells, so 7 has to be in one of these. 3 in this row. Oh, 3. Yes, I can place 3 in box 6 because of the King's move ruling that one out and ordinary Sudoku ruling all those out. So we get a 3 there. That doesn't really help. A 3 boxes 4 and 1 are being very unhelpful. We've got a 1. This must be a 1 by Sudoku. Then we get a 1 in one of these 2 cells. Again, still doesn't really help over there. Why are they being so difficult? There's a 6 in one of these 2 because this 6 sees all of those. Actually, there's a 6 in one of those 2 and there's an 8 in one of these 2. So in this column, 6, 8, 2, 3, 1 and 5 all see these 3 cells. Is that right? Yeah, it is. That's a 4, 7, 9 triple. That's going to fix quite a lot. It makes that a 6 and this is a 2, 8 pair. That makes this a 7 or 9 as well. And we've got a deadly pattern of 7s and 9s, which is a bit strange. It's going to be resolved when we know what that is, I suppose, at least. Now this can't be 7. In fact, this group is a 5, 6, 8 triple now. The top one can't be 8. The bottom one can't be 6. This is a 4. Must be. Now this must sort out something over here. 2, 1, 4, 3, 7, 9. That is 6 or 8. This is 5, 6 or 8. That's not sorting anything out. 5, 6 pair in this row. So this is a 3, 7, 9 triple. Now, by Sudoku that can't be 9, that can't be 7. By arrow, how can this be 9 or 7? It can't be 9. Oh, it could be 7. Right, this is now either a 3 or a 7. So on the tip of the arrow, we've either got a 1, which would take the lower number there to the lower number there, or the higher number there to the higher number there, or a 5, which would take 3 up to 8. How is that not resolved? Oh, this 3, 7 pair? Yeah, that's correct. That makes this a 9. Let's remove the corner mark there. Doesn't do anything, does it? Puts a 9 in one of those 2 cells, which is totally unexciting news. I've got a 1 in one of those 2 and a 1 in one of those 2. How is this not resolved yet? Right, if that was a 4, this would be 3 and 1. Now what could go in here? 1 and 3 would be used up. That would have to be a 2, 4 pair. Ah, yes, this can't work. Right, if this was a 4, you'd have 3 and 1. This would be a 2, 4 pair, but neither of those digits could go in this cell because of the 4, 2 here. So that is not a 4. That is the bigger number, which I suspected. That's an 8. We get an 8 there. The 8, oh, I don't know how it's made up. But I do know about these cells now. So 6, actually, yes, I know about those now. I thought maybe they'd been available for ages, but they haven't. They've only just become clear. 1 and 4 there. One of these is a 7. We've known that for ages. That has fixed this arrow. That's a 1. That is a 7 on the arrow. 3 there. Now, this is the max. This is 2, 4 now, in fact. The minimum digits that can go on that arrow, making that its maximum 6. I have a feeling from the fact that that was minimum in the end and that was maximum. Maybe I could have done some work on adding up the minimum total of those 4, which, I don't know, maybe not, I don't know. You may have done this puzzle a different way, that's what I'm saying at the moment. That becomes a 6. But I think the bottom of the grid is going to be completely finished now. Apart from the 7 9s. Apart from the 7 9s. Right. 5, 7. This is coming now. This is a quite approachable puzzle. Oh! Party for 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight. Losing its religion. They can't be 7. That's 7 in the other corner. No party there. 5 and 6. Still got my deadly pattern. 2 and 8 are resolved. 4 and 9 are resolved. We're just finishing off now. He says, putting in more pencil marks. 5 and 6 there. That has to be a 9. That sorts out all the 8 9s. Now we're going to have to come down and get to these 7 9s. Right, 5 there is sorting out this pair. That gives me a 7 down here, and that, I suspect, is the only digit resolving these by the king's move. So you could not finish this puzzle without knowing about the king's move restriction. And there we go. That's not too bad at all. 17 minutes. Nice puzzle, Just Curb. I think people will have beaten me today. I'm fine with that. Well done if you did. But I really enjoyed that. So excellent stuff. Do join us again tomorrow. Have a look at our Patreon. Subscribe to the channel. Like the videos. Help us out. And I'll see you again then. Bye for now.